Hi, good morning, good afternoon. It's winter. If you're in North America, we've been having a bout of winter this week. Good old frozen everything. And I think the curiosity, is also like, how is that landing in your body? Right? And just seeing some notes. Yeah, it's okay. And, are you out having fun in the winter weather, getting around, getting moving? Is it like staying inside, holed up in the cabin? Are you eating really good food and staying hydrated? Or maybe the exact opposite, like this is not a happy time of year. And so we're reaching for the comfort foods and then we feel heavy and all the like. I've made a profound observation in my own body over the last couple of months, uh, reducing my wine intake to almost nothing. And lo and behold, the swelling in my ankles is not there. So what's it gonna be? Cankles or a good glass of wine? No, it's a deeper thing if we're gonna think about it. But I giggle a little. So I'll be honest with you. The last couple of days has been a very cold where I am, extremely dry. So I do just want to highlight a couple points on dryness. So when we're here in the cold, bitter of winter, it's really dry. And just think for a second, like, how does that land on your body? Are you experiencing dry skin or patches of dry skin? Is it more like irritation in the nostrils, irritation in the eyelids? So think mucous membranes, right? Things that should be lubricated. Downstairs, like, how's that going? Although that's like a little bit different, but dryness could encourage vaginal dryness as well. What about dryness in the joints, right? More cracking, more popping, just overall like dry, weak kind of feeling. Um, how about phlegmy in the respiratory system, right? So we get dry, maybe the body produces more phlegm. We get dry, maybe we're more susceptible to pathogens. The body's producing more phlegm. The body's trying to keep lungs lubricated and vessels lubricated. So we want to help the body's process here. So yes, we think about hydration. Um, I would maybe our herbalist friends could chime in even in the feed with like, so what are some good plant allies for this time? I read the other day about plantain and some of the uh, things that help us lubricate in lungs, throat, eyes, all these things. Jan, were you going to chime in with something? I just saw you unmuted. So I was like, oh, we're going to get a quick plant ally thought bubble. Okay. I'm just going to, oh no, I'm just going to mute you guys in the back. Okay. And I'm also thinking a lot about beauty care. Okay. We call it beauty care, but what about body care? So Ayurveda is like, oh, it's dry. Just cover yourself in oil, thick oil, like coconut oil, and just all around and in all the orifices, not the eyeballs, but in the ears a little bit, and in the nostrils, in the scalp, head to toe, the feet in between all of the toes. So that's what I've been doing, reaching for what's been available to me other than immune system boosters. I've been reaching for this beautiful body care. So I actually woke up a little early today and did this whole like sugar scrub with geranium and lemongrass. And I feel like an absolute garden right now. So that's oil on the body, a little bit of oil, let's say ghee in the food, is going to help lubricate mucous membranes and joint spaces and things like that. So don't hesitate to utilize oil and externally and a little bit internally. So Jan's chiming in, our resident herbalist. Plantain is amazing, spreading the whole mouth with her. For the lungs, violet is gorgeous, mallow, and hibiscus. So think moisture. foods that are deeply moisturizing, soups and stews, uh, fruits and vegetables that have high water content. Like think along these lines, a little bit of salt. It's winter time, right? So a little thought bubble there before we get into some movement on keeping it moist, lubricated. Get those humidifiers out. Yes. Okay. Let's come into this body. So, welcome to this class. Heal your body. Everything we're doing in here is in, enveloped in a hug of healing principles and juicy, juicy movements. I'm here in a seated position. You could have legs extended, you could have legs folded, just tuning into the breath. It feels nice to gently close the eyes, and that's supportive of a little tuning in. Little micro movements already start to explore places in the body that are feeling moist, nutrified, places in the body that might be feeling a bit dry, not as much nutrients flowing. Let's see if we can move the needle on that in our practice, head to toe. We'll see where that takes us. We're here in this seated position. You could also be seated in a chair. You could be seated with something that has a backing. Your legs could be extended. Lots of options. We're going to start with the upper body. Go ahead and stretch your arms out forward. You're going to make a fist with the thumb on the inside. Give a squeeze and a stretch. A squeeze and a stretch. Right? Sometimes I feel the dryness in the joints of my fingers, especially doing body work in the cold. So I want to get all the fluid moving in those joint spaces, especially my thumbs. Let's give a shake out. This time, make a fist with the thumb on the inside. Let's move wrists up and down. So if we want to reach for like move lubrication around the body in yoga, this is it. Pavamuktanasana. Joint purification practices. Let's go circle. Are there sounds? Opposite direction. Let's shake it out. Take a resting breath. Feel into the wrists and hands and fingers. And then we're ready to come back here. Flex the fingers, really spread the fingers very wide, up and down. Try to keep flat palm on the way down. You really have to flex through the fingers in order to keep a flatter palm, or else the palm's gonna like curve. Give a shake. Little wiggles. Elbow circles. Lots of options here. Fist with the thumb on the inside. Super slow. Really feeling what's possible. A little bit faster. And then there's like vigorous. So which one felt good? I'm gonna go with medium. Let's go in the opposite direction. Not the easiest joint to move. Let's shrug shoulders. Shake up the arms. Pause. Pause for breath. pause for spaces in between, feeling sensation, tuning into sensation, elbows, forearms, wrists, fingers, fingertips. We're back up at the shoulders, small shoulder circles. Relax facial muscles while you're doing this. That could be a gentle smile. We're having fun. It could just be a very gentle turning of the corners of the mouth upwards. Mhm. Opposite direction. Take your time. This could be a cranky place. Shrug shoulders. Shake out the arms. Feel free to invent wiggles. Something that feels good for the moment, that gets to the places. Nice. We're here at big shoulder circles. So rest the fingertips on the shoulder tree, circle with elbows. Open it up. Inhale. Opposite direction. Let's once again, a little shrug. This could be very gentle as well. Taking out the arm. Let's pause. Feel into shoulder. We're ready for neck movement. Nice and slow in this case. Inhale, chin back. Exhale, chin towards the chest. Little smile on the face. Little wiggles through the jaw. We're ready for right and left movement. Notice differences in the two sides. Let's not force the neck to move in any way. Just observing. Let's go ear to shoulder. Relax the jaw, gentle smile. Are there sounds? Haunted house sounds. Last one. If it feels good, tuck chin and roll half circle up to the shoulder, down to the middle, over to opposite shoulder. And I mean, only if it feels good for like the vertebra C5 and 6. Sometimes this movement isn't feeling so good. Let's come to center. Picking up the head. Now, can we just catch that feeling? That flowy, connected feeling from neck, shoulder, elbows, wrist, finger. Above the neck might be a little bit of jaw. And from here, we take a twist. Seated twist. Nice breath in. And as you exhale, backhand or back fingertips are easing the chest forward, returning towards the space behind you. Right? The goal is to not like pop and crack, but that might be happening. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale on over to the other side. Big breath in the pose. Exhale back to center. Feel the whole of the upper body. And let's get the lower body in harmony as well. If you've been seated for a while, it might be a little bit stiff. Stretching both legs. Give a little windshield wipers. Let's start waking things up in the lower body. Give a wiggle of the legs. A little hello hamstring. All right, let's say your legs fell asleep. A couple little tidbit tips on that. You could tap the heel into the ground gently. You can massage the feet. You could do a little tapotement. Hands are behind. That's one option. Fingers spread really wide and we're relaxed. If that's not working out for wrists or elbows or shoulders or what have you, you could be like more upright. This could be fists on the floor so that we're not leaning any of the body weight back onto the hands or wrists. That works too. We're going to bring attention down to the feet, flex, and point. Definitely avoiding taking my socks off. I woke up, I think it's only -1. As you're flexing, feel that little tug on the backs of the legs all the way up into the glutes. Let's go circle. And the opposite direction circle. These movements are so simple, so foundational, but we are building range of motion in every single joint that will improve so many things. Pavamuktanasana, this set of movements, is indicated in yoga therapy for everything. Like whatever it is, yep, that. Head fell off, yep. Decapitation, yes. Separate the feet a little, windshield wipers, circles and opposite. Feel the connection all the way up the legs into the hips. I'm feeling it because it's real cranky up there. I'm thinking about from this distal location, can I get things moving in the hip? Let's switch direction. Let's shake it up. Wiggle it out. Still wiggling. Pause. Take your mind to the wrists. Just kidding. Those are ankles and feet. The wrists of the legs, also known as your ankles. And the feet, feel the sensations there. What we're doing in this moment, this pause and connecting to the sensations, very powerful. This is like a very important part of accessing the healing capacity of yoga asana. It's the pause, feeling the sensation, the way the mind is now connecting to the body, magical things happening in the nervous system. It looks really, really chill, and some people might feel bored. Why are we not getting into like faster movements and bigger things? Because the healing lives in the spaces in between. We do the stimulus and then we pause and we make connections and we stitch this body back together, remembering, like literally putting the members back together. Ready for knee movement. You're going to contract the quadricep muscle on top of the thigh. Whew, mine are like stone, not in a good way, right? I'm going to squeeze these muscles. It's going to draw my kneecap upwards because these muscles attach here at the near the patella, not really at patella, and release. So squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Kneecap pulls up and down, and in this little delightful knee torque is an opportunity to move the lubricating fluid in the knee joint around, nourishing meniscus, the padding in between, and subsequently all around the knee. So this very simple knee torque improves everything, stability and integrity, your ability to be responsive, to get out of the way of that snowball rolling down the hill. Notice differences on two sides. Notice the quality of that fluid. Does it feel like sludge? It's just thick. And that's winter. That's what winter does. Literally, I can walk outside and the stream outside is frozen. And the streams inside are like, oh, we're supposed to be frozen too, right? Yeah, keep going through this chit chat. And now give a wiggle behind the legs. Let's give a little added love, just center point right from the center of the hand, massaging around the knees. I'm going around the kneecap. Doesn't matter which direction because we're going to reverse it. Warming the knees. Warming connective tissue. So low back and knees are common culprits for tightness, soreness, and discomfort in winter. Let's do the same thing now, but on the backs of the knee. So you might be in a place that's not so cold, like you might be, closer to the equator. And so your body is still experiencing opposite direction winter in the body. I can see in my shiatsu clinic, everybody coming in, I feel like what I'm treating is winter in the body. Right? If you find a little pocket, it's found a little pocket that corresponds to the kidney channel that felt just like really hard, so dry. Just giving it a little love. Loving, yeah. Okay, now move the kneecap itself. So use your thumb and your fingers. Move the kneecap forward and backwards. Use your fingers, move it a little side to side. Like get under there. Now pause. Just for a moment. Pause. Feel knees, ankles, all the way down to toe tips. Ooh, just reading this. Licorice tea and castor oil in the eyes, but not with your contacts in. I'm just kidding. But yeah. Yeah, no, sometimes we need to put oil in the eyes because the mucous membranes have become so dry. Absolutely. I mean, that's what lubricating eye drops, then I'm not saying they have castor oil in them, but similarly, something really viscous. Okay, I think we're ready. Coming up to the hips. Let's pick up the right leg. You could hold this leg out here. You could bring the right arm from the inside and hold, if that's comfortable. Basically, we want to get that external rotation of the hips, a little something, and circle. Good. All right. Let's go opposite direction. Nice. So we're back here in the center. And one option, and I will say I'm just seated on this little pillow. It's not offering me much, but just enough. Okay, so again, we could be kind of way out here and rocking. We could bring this foot somewhere like wrist into the elbow, all the way tucked in, wrapped around, and we rock side to side. Now, wherever we are, we hold. Next up is something of a half lotus, a figure four stretch, something that's getting us this like lotus pose type range of motion. This foot comes on top of the thigh, closer to the knee, gives us more space. If we need max space, that foot can come to the floor. So again, what we're after is external rotation of the hip, something of a figure four stretch. That's going to be lovely. If you need more space, why not, right? Just make sure the knee is supported like that. If we're up here on the thigh, or if we're drawing this foot towards the crease of the thigh, cultivating our Padma lotus pose, this is still joint practices, so we might give it a little wiggle. But you're only giving it that wiggle if that feels good. And let's hold. Breathe. Nice. Let's stretch this leg. Whee! And once you over. And wiggle. And knee pull-ups. Squeeze the quads. Kneecaps pull up and down. And we have a fabulous moment here of observation of the differences in the two legs. What did we just do? Bring your mind to the hip. Bring your mind to the sensations that you're feeling right now. Right? Is there any little, again, tapping that might be helpful? It's winter. We might need a lot more tapping and tapping, getting things going. Wiggle the bum, little bum wiggles. Yes, we're ready for the opposite leg. So we're taking our time here, really having a thorough set of joint practices. Our body will benefit greatly from it. We started out with this option of picking up the leg and circles. Right? You can bring this arm from the inside and circle. So in my body, this hip is way more amenable. At least doing this. Circles in both directions. And that way, if you know your tighter hip, start with that one when we're doing the hip series. Cradling and rocking. We could be out here again. No problem. Rocking from side to side. We could be wrapping around. Rocking from side to side. Holding and breathing. Some sort of half lotus or figure four. You need to put a pillow or a block under here as well. That works. This whole set of movements is helpful for cultivating seated meditative posture. So that's why this bit here, now we ease towards the floor. Use your breath. Holding. Nice breath in. Exhale, slowly release. Might be a little cranky. Let's go. Would you like more? Let's do wiggles. Let's do knee pull-ups. Any tappement? Mm-hmm. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Pause for a moment. Can you feel a little bit of heat? A little bit of opening happening? Just take a little restful pause here. Whatever is supportive for your body. Tune in right now to whole body. We still have like one or two more movements for hips to go, but I just want to pause here and point out something. One of the ac- activations of joint purification practices in Sanskrit, it's called Pavan Muktanasana or Sukshma Viyama. Both of those things. So Sukshma Viyama, wind releasing. Pavan Muktanasana literally means wind releasing exercises. So air is occupying space where lubricating fluid should be, or where nutrient fluid should be in the body. And so we want to release that wind and get the fluid moving through the joints. Now, if you just tune into whole body right now, you can feel there's an opening. Like you might be sweating right now. Let's say perspiring. The pores are open. Heat is releasing. Fluid is flowing in the body. So in the East Asian system, we have a beautiful concept for this in the form of the Wei Qi, this waterway channel system of brooks and streams, if you will, that lives under the skin layer surface, not deep, it's superficial, but under the skin layer. And it opens up to the outer environment to release. But let's say it's cold and windy, it closes to protect. So the Wei Qi has this opening and closing and opening and closing. And I've been noticing this week, my body, like Wei Qi is really open a lot. And that lets me know my body is trying to keep me healthy. It's extremely cold and dry. If I step outside, all you can see are my eyes. I am covered every skin surface possible. Like I am not playing because all that has to happen, I see my body's trying to work in my favor. But if I let wind in, poof, I will be sick. Like it'll just tip that scale. So this Wei Qi in East Asian system, that's your immune system power in terms of interacting with the environment. So one more little caveat, we've got these split level heaters. We've got central air heating. Okay, hot air is blowing, right? And all that's happening for me is like everything from my nostrils all the way, it's just like bone dry. Skin gets dry. And I'm like, I'm riding this edge. I don't feel sick, but I feel my body working. And a practice like the one that we're doing today enhances and supports this phenomenon. So if you right now are feeling, oh, I can feel a little perspiring in the armpits or like the bridge of the nose or the, above the lips or below the chin. Oh, there's a like an opening feeling. Mm-hmm. Yes. And guard your body. Don't let wind catch you. I see people, it's like negative a million. They're out without a hat on. You know? like, like the thing is unzipped or they just got the jacket on and it's not zipped. And I'm like, who are these crazy mountain people? Oh my God, zip up. So this concept, this opening, this practice right now gives you the opportunity to feel and connect to that. You will then keep practicing cumulative bank of experiences. So then when you're not feeling so hot and you're like, you know what? I'm going to go take rest. I'm going to make that healing tea. I'm going to take that warm bath. I'm going to moxa. I'm going to steam. I'm going to pause and support my body in what it's doing right now because you've built a language, a relationship with the language of self healing. That's the vibe. Okay, we're back in. Let's go. Butterfly pose. So we got feet together. And I want to invite you, you can have a big old butterfly, feet are farther outward. You could bring the feet closer together. We're going to do a little bit womb yoga here, a little pelvic tilting and getting juicy in the base of the pelvic bowl. So you can hold up the ankles, the shins, the knees, and let's do just hips tilt forward, gentle tailbone tucks under. Only do as much as it feels good in the alignment of your pelvis. So Ayurveda, South Asian system, to my knowledge, doesn't have a name for what the Chinese have mapped with the Wei Qi in the East Asian system. Though I am not an Ayurvedic physician, there might be subtle concepts I'm not aware of. But that's the fun of comparative work. We can draw from all the systems to deepen our understanding. Now, we're talking about opening and sweating. This isn't the only kind of opening and sweating. How about the opening and sweating of a fever? How about the opening and sweating of hot flashes, right? So we're not speaking in absolutes, just giving a little example of environmental exchange with environment. But we have lots of other nuances of latent heat, of autoimmune, inflammatory patterns, right? So there's more pathology. Ready for circle. This circle wants to come from down in the pelvic region. Not so much upper body. So I'm using my hands for leverage at the ankles. Let's go opposite direction. Oh, yeah. Don't hesitate to make your own sound effects. Mine often come in Tibetan. Oh, yeah. Nice. Right now I'm just feeling in because there's two different stories in the right and the left. Mm-hmm. So now we're here in the center and we want to have some sort of little forward fold. So this could be, again, that we're holding at ankles, calves, knees. This could be we're at the feet. Lots of options, opening the feet like a book. Like, do we want to stretch through the fascia of the feet that way? Do we want to do the East Asian style? We're going to turn the hands inwards and lead with the elbows forward. I'm going to go there today. That feels like the right idea. We don't need to go very far. We're just looking for that activation. Inner thighs, groins, low back, base of pelvic floor. Yeah, feeling that activation. Good. Inhale coming up. Let's stretch both legs, make windshield wipers. Little range of motion movement. So from here, we're just going to bring a knee into the center and then alternate. Oh, that feels really tight and amazing at the same time. So this is internal rotation. We just did a lot of external rotation in seated position. So just enjoy now. Internal rotation of the hip. I'm taking my time because there's some real tightness before I turn this into dynamic range of motion exercise. It's an option. If that doesn't feel like the right option, let's go back to a slow, mindful stretch. Getting some adjustment in the metatarsal of my toe. Fun. Nice. Let's come back to the center and find a wide leg stance. I still got that little pillow tucked under my bum. I would probably prefer a folded blanket, nice firm blanket. Coming into this wide leg stance, let's play around a little bit here. Anything shouting? Definitely adductors. Giving a little development. Reach around, move a little flesh out of the way. Get those sit bones on the ground. Feet flex. This is enough right here. This is a beautiful position. It's a beautiful pose. This is our sthiti, our starting position. Let's play from here. We're going to turn to the right. Take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, walk fingertips forward, little spider fingers. They don't need to go very, very far. And also, we want the evenness in the shoulder. You could have a micro bend in the knee. Could also be a little wiggles. Let's inhale back up, over to opposite side. Next, inhale back up. Exhale to center. Little wiggles through here. All right, there could be some options. There could be a block out in front. The chest nice forward. Take ourselves to a comfortable place in this pose where the breath is accessible. Taking our time here, settling into this wide leg forward fold. Next, inhale, slowly coming up. Let's take this into side bend fashion. Inhale, both arms up. And with your exhale, one arm comes down. Could be on top of the thigh, could be to the inside of the thigh. And allow that bottom arm to help you rotate the chest towards the ceiling. So it's not about how far we go. It's really like, can we open up the chest and side body? We'll go to each side a couple times, so don't feel like you have to rush to get anywhere in this pose. We can inhale both arms back up and over to the opposite side. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale over to the first side. Breathing, holding, not overextending. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, both arms up. Stretch through the side body. Exhale. Yeah. Let's stretch both legs out in front. Give a little sweep of the flesh, and let's do a little simple seated twist from here. We're going to bring right foot over the left and wrap with the left wrist, elbow. That arm could come to the outside as well. Turning towards the space behind you, backhand pushing chest forward. Nice breath in. Exhale back to center. Let's try the opposite side, left leg over. Wrap with right wrist, right elbow. So it's opposite arm and leg. Turning towards the space behind you. Nice big breath in the pose, coming back to the center. So I would say that was Pavanmuktanasana. Like that's my version of a complete set through the joints. Like Now the joints have been like all the major joints of the body, except the spine, but we're coming there, have been just given an input, right? And fluid is flowing and the Wei Chi is opening and heat is moving. And yeah, like now we're ready for other things. Let's come on to the hands and knees. Even when we're doing vigorous asana practice, deep yoga asana, we're supposed to do a pretty epic warm up. Very gentle, such as what we've done today. Come into cat pose breathing, fingers spread nice and wide, center of palm push into the floor, knees are under the hips. We inhale and yeah, check in with those spinal vertebra. Breathing in and breathing out. One more here. Take this side to side. Inhale. Exhale, turn the head, find a heel. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. We're coming back to center. We're finding child's pose. Lots of options here. Feet back towards the heels, arms extend towards the floor. We could widen the knees, stack the forearms, relax the head. Every pose offers a space to explore. Here for me, I love to explore under the armpits, under the shoulder blades. This is an inverted pose. It's a little bit upside down. Now, you could hang out here and continue to enjoy an inversion, a little time inverted in child's pose, or we could come into downward facing dog. Fingers spread nice and wide. Nice bend in the knees, nice wiggle of the head, wiggle your doggy tail. Any little pedaling through backs of legs if that feels good. Downward facing dog wants to be a resting pose. Can you find a point of restfulness here? Lowering knees back down onto the floor. We're all kneeling back up in child's pose. Slither the body onto the floor, hands by sides of chest, baby cobra, legs together, feet together for the most part. Belly eases into the floor. We're lifting with the upper back muscles. The glutes stay nice and quiet. That's our inhale. Roll the shoulders at the top of that movement. Feel shoulders can squeeze together. Shoulders can move down towards the hips. And then we come down to the floor and we take a resting breath with the forehead on the floor. Let the spine lengthen. Let's do that 2 more times. Nice breath in. One more. Let's hang out here. Roll the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades together and hold. And if it's accessible, just slide the arms forward. Elbows are now underneath the shoulders. We found ourselves in Sphinx pose. Couple more breaths. Come out of the pose anytime. That feels good. If you're listening to the body and the body says, I'm done in this pose, come on down. We're going to take one more breath here. Exhale all the way down, stretch both arms forward. Reverse corpse pose. Palms face down, legs together, feet together, forehead on the floor. Breathe into back body, melt into the floor, let the spine lengthen. Let the nose smooth. Half locust, arms in line with shoulders. We lift opposite arm and leg, right arm, left leg, lift up, not very high. They just don't need to. Flex that foot, maybe even lengthen a little out of the hip socket before you lift. Left arm, right leg. And down, we've got 4 more to each side. So I described this flexing of the foot like somebody's pulling your heel, tractioning that leg out of the hip. That hopefully feels good. Right arm and left leg lift at the same time, couple inches off the floor, back down. Don't use your neck. You could even have the forehead on the floor. Use these nice, long, strong back muscles. Use those glutes, those hamstrings and calves. All the extensors on back body. The domain of winter. How about one more to each side? Last one here. Bring up your fishtail. Bend the elbows. Flap fishtail from side to side. Still rotation. Internal and external rotation of hip. Child's pose. Go by way of baby cobra. Roll the shoulders. Squeeze shoulder blades together before coming back. All the way back. A little range of motion here. Widen the knees, toes face back. And like a little pulsing forward and backwards. This is for adductors. But we're going to get at a little bit of glutes, hamstring as well. Now, if you like to turn the feet facing outwards, come onto the elbows. And let the knees spread wide as they can. We're not looking for ouch, but this is not the most comfortable pose in the world. Might need more padding under the knees. And let's release this pose. Use your elbows to draw the knees together, stretching forward. Slowly coming up. We're going to finish up on our backs today. There is a yoga pose called Pavanmuktanasana. It's one we do all the time, knee to chest. What wind are we releasing? Colon, large intestine. Yep, that wind. So this pose also activates low back, side joint. This is a beautiful pose in all seasons. If it feels good, you could lift that leg towards 45 degrees, or you could just bend the knee. Clasp your hands on the shin. Draw a knee in towards chest. You could also clasp hands on the back of the thigh. Draw the knee in towards the chest. We're going to hold at least 3 slow breaths. We could stretch that leg back outwards 45 degrees and lower down. If there's any part where your back is like, I don't like that, don't do it, because it is a strain on the muscles of the low back. So if you're experiencing sciatica or other nerve pain in the low back or down the leg, don't do the leg lift. Just bend the knee and draw that knee in towards the chest. We're going to come onto left side. Oh. We're often doing this pose at the start of class. It's kind of fun to come at it towards the end and really be able to enjoy that stretch through the low back. Let's come, inhale, stretching or just releasing. A couple of windshield wipers here. And let's come into last active pose, a single leg twist. So legs together, arms out to the sides. We're going to bend the right knee. Put that foot right on the inside of your left knee. And first drop this leg to the outside. If you'd like to turn the head in the opposite direction, you could. But just for a moment, be in the opening of this rotation here. Then we're ready. Inhale. Exhale across the body. Lots of options. Ideally, you want this opposite arm on the floor, even the shoulder on the floor. This foot could come across. You could bring a hand here onto the knee or thigh. Any little tapotment that's called for. Inhale back to center and release. Left leg inhale, exhale first to the outside. Inhale back to center. Exhale across the body, twist. So gentle, right? Nothing, we're not forcing anything to happen. Next inhale. Slowly coming back to center. Releasing both legs. If it feels good to have legs extended, that's fine. You could also bend the knees. Just come into whole body consciousness, whole body awareness here. We're going to end up our practice here today, and I wonder what's next. A cozy yoga nidra, seated meditation, the pranayam. Time to go make some brekkie, get into the next part of your day. Was this a lunch break and we're back into the office? Whatever it is, just be in the wholeness and completeness of the moment in your body. Feel that openness. Make sure that you are guarding warmth, that you are guarding moisture, all the juicy places in the body. I leave you all here. This is a delicious practice, and I will look forward to the next opportunity to practice with you all. So thank you. Enjoy the day. Stay warm.